Oh You Thought Podcast, the place where you get a heavy dose of positivity, sarcasm, knowledge, and ratchetness. Enjoy the show. What up, my people? Welcome to episode 31 of Oh You Thought Podcast. It's your girl, Fallon. I don't have a rap or a wonderful freestyle for y'all this week, but I think this is going to be a really good show. I really wanted to not dive into all of the shenanigans that keep going on every single day in regards to Trump and all the dirt he's kicking up, but it's just like you can't get away from it. I want this to be like just a fancy, free, fun episode, but I gotta talk about real life because that's what I really wanted this platform to be. And you know, I just like to provide my perspective on things that are going on in the world, because there again, I think it's important to just not have your view, but to listen to other people's views and everything and see how they see the world, but be kind and understanding of their views. And if there's room to educate on something that they're getting totally wrong, then you have that conversation. So I really hope that y'all enjoy this episode. It's going to be a good mixture. I'm not going to really do a lot of pop culture this week. I have a few items I want to talk about, but this episode is probably going to end up being heavily laid in the music direction. This week, I'm really going to focus on the Dame D.O.L.L.A album, which when I say Dame D.O.L.L.A, I'm talking about Damian Lillard that plays basketball for the Portland Trailblazers. And so, yeah. And it's hard for me to really like say that he's a good rapper, because in my mind, as a Houston Rockets fan for life, like the only thing I see is that shot that he took and put us out of the playoffs that year. And so, all jokes aside, like, it's a really dope album. So I'm really just gonna lock in and talk about something that I love, which is music. So I hope you enjoy this episode. If you haven't heard the Dame D.O.L.L.A album, and you're like me, like you don't want to hear people talk about it until you hear it, so when we get to the music portion, just go ahead and turn the podcast off, because yeah, I'm really gonna just talk about it in depth. So let's go ahead and just start the show. Oh, you thought that white terrorists and white nationalists were done marching in Charlottesville, but no, they came back over the past weekend, and they were led by Richard Spencer, which we all know is just, you know, someone who's just that likes to hate on other people that don't look like him. And he basically said, "You will not replace us. Russia is our friend." That was the chant that they had going on out there for the hour or so they were out there with their tiki torches again. And it's just like, I have to say this. Like, what are you talking about when you say you're not going to replace us? White people are still the majority in this country. And there again, as a person of color, as a minority, bruh, like, we don't want anything else from you. We just want to be treated just like you. Like, we want to be treated equally. Like, we want to go to school, like they say, go to school, get your degree, and we want to be able to compete and get these jobs and get fair pay. And there again, as a person of color and also a woman, like, that's just twofold for me. Like, we are at the bottom of the payroll as far as what we get paid for these jobs and everything. And so I don't understand when you say you will not replace us. Like, you've never been replaced, and we've been here for how long? Like, we just want y'all to respect us, stop killing us, and that's it. Like, we still jump through the hoops every single day, and it's not just black people, it's Hispanic people, it's Asian people, it's anyone that's part of the minority, bruh. And so I don't understand that. And then you out here screaming that Russia is y'all's friend. Like, low key, high key. Y'all need to really like do your own Googles about stuff that's been going on in this country, stuff that's been going on in other countries, and how Russia has their hands in a lot of shit. And so that's all I'm going to say about that, because it's enough for me to just go on and on and on about Russia. And if y'all don't wake up, this will end up being a Putin Jr. Country over here, which is already slowly turning that way. I mean, look at the stuff that Trump says every single day. But we got to start calling a spade a spade. We need to start calling these people terrorists. Like, these are homegrown terrorists. And, you know, I always say there's bad apples in every bunch. But it's just like a situation where right is right and wrong is wrong. Just like with people try to put bad labels on the Black Lives Matter movement. There again, there's bad apples on every tree in every bunch. And so it's not a movement for hate, but a spade, KKK, that is a hateful group. Like, that's what it is. It's founded on wanting to be the dominant race forever. You know, like, so yeah, that's my spill on that. Oh, you thought that we would never hear what Birdman had to say about owing Lil Wayne money. I don't know what prompted it, but we got this IG live rant on, you know, it looked like an Android type of feed. Let me just stop playing before you people with the Androids come after me. But didn't have a good connection. That's neither here nor there. But he was basically on his tour, Put Some Respect on My Name, part 2. And he's tired of you boys and girls out in these streets still talking about how he owed Lil Wayne money. And he said that he's Lil Wayne's daddy, basically. And of course, he's going to take care of him. He's going to make sure he's good. But bruh, he took you to court because he's telling you he ain't good. Lil Wayne was your biggest artist before Drake came along. And that's backdoor. Like, Lil Wayne and what is the young Jay Prince brought you Drake. So you got these talented artists. Wayne's telling you the books ain't straight. Even Turk, when he came out of jail, he was saying the books weren't right. And I'm going to come back to Turk in just a second. But it doesn't take a blind man to see that you owe Wayne money. Yeah, Wayne is good. Wayne's not talking about he's broke. But Wayne is always on the road, it seems like. So he's getting show money. Album money, album sales, what's good? Like, what do you owe Wayne? And I just think it's fair. Like, if you're so rich and you're so good and this is your son, even if you don't want to pay him everything that you think you owe him or they think that is due to them, why can't you just have a conversation, sit down with your son and say, you know what? To just make all this go away, let's just meet in the middle and I'll pay you X million amount of dollars. Like, it's time for that. It's time. Like, you out here, I guess you trying to renew yourself and become a new man and stuff. And I'm pretty sure Tony the Braxton has something to do with that. You took out your gold teeth, which is cool. Good. We see your pearly whites, got a nice smile. And then what, you followed up yesterday, you said you're gonna get the tattoos off your face. Bravo. It's about time for that. So you trying to get your life together, go ahead and get your life all the way together and pay Wayne. Now, I have an issue with him shouting out Turk. And it's not like an issue like that, but it's just like, I'm confused because he showed Turk love, and in turn Turk showed him love as well. But there again, like I said, when Turk got out of jail, he was talking about how the books weren't straight. So I don't know, like, does Birdman really move like that in the streets? We've never heard about him being in any kind of trouble or anything like that, like putting his hands on people. Is he about that life? I don't want to know personally, but I'm just trying to figure out what's really good, because he was out here on that gangster talk again, like, yeah, y'all not gonna play with him, like, yeah. So I'm confused. Like, what are your thoughts on the Wayne and Birdman? Do you think Birdman owes Lil Wayne a slew of money? Let me know. Oh, you thought that justice would be truly served if you shot a cop at the police station, you get away on foot, they catch you and bring you back alive. Now, this happened in Lubbock, Texas, on the campus of Texas Tech. And I'll give you one try to guess the background of this young man that did this. You guessed it. He was white. And see, I thought, again, this would be a good story to open up the door fully to have a conversation about the difference that people are taking a knee for. This is a clear-cut example. There again, I will always say, right is right, wrong is wrong. So if a black person is out there and they stole something, for example, the cop caught him or whatever, he runs or whatever, just catch him. Like, he stole something. You don't need to kill somebody for that. Catch the person, let them go to jail, let them go through the so-called due process and appear before a judge, and let the judge figure out what needs to be done. And it's just, we just see so often how the scenario is so different. Like, I feel like a couple weeks ago, we saw another white person that was being disrespectful to a cop. And it's like they just gave him a million chances for this person to get in line. And we see a video of the same kind of scenario with a black person, and they're shooting to kill. I get it. Like, being a cop is a hard job, but you also signed up for that job. And I do appreciate the cops that we have. So it's nothing against cops or anything like that. Like, I understand we need them to provide us safety. But my thing is this. I always thought that, and there again, I'm not a cop, that even if you feel like you have to use your gun or your taser, with your gun, how come you just don't shoot the person's legs? And I don't care if you shoot both of their legs off, but they still would be alive. Does that make sense? Instead of shooting just to kill, it's a difference. And that's the kind of points that we bring up when we're debating this long issue that hasn't gone away. It's just like, if it's a true situation where we're not being racially profiled, we committed a crime, okay, fine, take us to jail. If we resist, or if we run away or whatever, shoot the person in the leg or the arm or something to slow the person down so you can catch up with them. And if we're being racially profiled, just stop being so insensitive. Stop spreading your racism by stopping us for nothing. You know, like the good old your tail light was out, or you did a rolling stop, like those petty things. Like, so this was just, it was a horrible thing that happened at the Texas Tech police station, but nobody was talking about it. Nobody was talking about it at all. And I just didn't understand that, because every time I see situations like this, I'm like, oh, okay, so now we'll have the conversation. Even like with the Las Vegas thing, I was like, okay, so now we'll have the conversation. Like, this was a homebred terrorist. Like, forget the definitions of what other people have defined terrorism to be. What he did was horrible, and that was a terrorist. And that's what I'm just saying. Like, we got to just start, maybe we need to start putting blindfolds on and just calling a spade and stop looking at the skin color and creating narratives based off of a skin color. And maybe we can get past that, but I don't know. Oh, you thought that Donald Trump respected women.
Who said that? Who said that? Who is saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
So, Shaun King, someone that I really respect, and I like what he does for the community as far as trying to fight for what is right. He posted this week, in lieu of everything that's been going on as far as women speaking up about being sexually harassed or abused or raped, all those scenarios. And I just thought that this post was perfect, and I want to read it. And this is a direct quote from Donald Trump, the president. And this is in regards to one of the ladies that spoke up about being sexually harassed by him. This is a direct quote. This is not a misquote. This is not anything that was like just pulled together. This is a direct quote, people, from Donald Trump. Okay, this is what it says. I did try and fuck her. She was married. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful... And then there's a mark. I guess they didn't pick up what he said. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. How sick is that? Like, and I'm not even done. Like, how sick is that? And when you're a star, they let you do it. Let's run that back again. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. This is the person y'all let into office. And when I read that quote, I wasn't surprised, but I was just like, people just really don't care. They care, there again, if you're a minority. If Obama would have said something like that, and we found out before, like, even getting the opportunity to vote him into office, nobody would have voted for him, including black people. Like, and that's also the narrative that people get so twisted. People think that because we're black, we're just going to go for whatever. And that's not true. And when Obama was in office, I didn't agree with everything that he did. But overall, he was a really good president because he was compassionate and he cared about more than just black people. And truth be told, there was a lot of black people that were mad because they felt like Obama should have did more for them because he was black. And it's just like, no, he's the president. He has to do for everybody. But I will say he did a great job speaking up for us when we had all these different injustices going on against us. He didn't have an issue speaking up with that. And he spoke up for everybody. Minorities, for the LGBTQ. Hope I'm not leaving out any letters. No disrespect. He spoke up for them. Like, he was a voice for all. And so it's just a difference. You know, like if Trump was in there doing great things, like I would go for it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't deny when people are doing great stuff. But he keeps up shenanigans every single day. And so that's all I'm saying whenever I talk about Trump. And it's just like he gives you so much ammo. And I always say there's always a tweet, a video from back then, currently, that can go with his shenanigans. So yeah, I got that stuff off my chest. Let me talk about my week for a little bit. Really, really quick. Nothing major is going on in my boring life. Just still applying for jobs every single day. I feel like that's all I do every single day. Just praying for like the right job, right situation to come along. Like the bad thing about looking for a job, you get a lot of emails and calls with stuff that's just not for you. And you're just like, girl, why are you calling me? Why are you emailing me with this mess? Like, this is not for me. So that's like the downside. I've been listening to a lot of great music, but I really just been on my stay-at-home tip. Yeah, and try not to spend money. So yeah, that's what I've been on. Me and Mister, we're still good. We're in one of our good valleys right now where everything is good. Like, it feels like we just met. That's how it feels. Yeah. I let him listen to, did I talk about that? I let him listen to my For the D challenge, and he was very proud. I told him that I've talked about him a few times on the podcast, because there again, he doesn't listen to it. He listened to like 2 minutes of it last week because he was listening to my challenge or whatever, but he doesn't listen. And yeah, so we're good. I want to give a shout out to a family friend, Russell, aka MC Russ, and he gave me some great feedback, that he listened to the show. And also, before I go any further, I want to show complete love to everything that he's basically doing. If you could go to YouTube and follow his YouTube channel, you can look it up by the MC Russ Show or just MC Russ, and that's EMCEERUSS. I don't want any confusion, so I just want to spell it out. So yeah, go and follow his station and look at his shows that he has posted. And he's such a wonderful spirit, and he's very, very nice and funny, and he can sing. He's also a part of a wonderful band, and that band is called Soul Creatures. And so check them out, especially if you're in Houston. They do a lot of shows and everything, and it's just, I always say it's like a great live band, and it's just, yeah, so check him out. So I just wanted to make sure I gave him a shout out. And he also came up with an idea on what to call my fans and the podcast listeners. And so his idea is Thoughtmosphere, like atmosphere, Thoughtmosphere. What do y'all think? Are y'all vibing with it or what? Let me know, because I really want to give y'all a good name. So that's one name that's on the books to think about. And after I was working out, I said, okay, I need to have a name for my fans, yes. But I also want to have like a personal word that I just call y'all. And I know a lot of y'all probably going to think she's trying it. But bear with me for a second. Because, I have many sides to myself, and, I like ratchet things. And so the ratchet side of me came up with this idea, because I was like, you know what, I can just push the line a little bit, because you don't know if I'm saying thought or thought. Like that hoe over there. And I said, what if I call my listeners, like when I'm talking, like thoughty pies? I said, that is so ratchet. That is so ratchet, but I like it. Thoughty pies. Instead of sweetie pies, my thoughty pies. I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm pretty sure, the men won't vibe with it. But I think it's cute. I think it's funny. I think it's me because it's ratchet. And yeah, so y'all let me know. Again, DM me on social media, on IG, Twitter, or email me, OhYouThoughtFallon@gmail.com. And let me know what you think. A positive mind equals a positive life. When you let go of all the negativity, that is the ultimate glow up. It's time for the positivity moment of the show. Positivity moment. I didn't have one last week. I found something that spoke to my spirit a couple days ago on Facebook, and it comes from The Power of Positivity, of course. And it simply says, happiness is found when you stop comparing yourself to other people. Yes, yes, yes. Like, you running the race for yourself. That's it. And the person who has the ultimate map and key to that life is God. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. It only matters between you and him. And that's it. And I think a lot of us get caught up, and even myself, and it's not being jealous, but it's just like more like, it's taking me too long to get where I want to go. And there again, it's all about you saying where you want to go. And it's just like, well, God has a plan for something else. And it's just like, no, roll with his plan and you'll get there. And I'm always looking at people like, I wish I was there, but there again, I'm not afraid of the hard work. But it's just like, okay, I'm 35 and I'm still not in a career where I want to be. And I had this conversation a few days ago, and it's just like, high key, I never want to work for anyone else ever again. I want to be able to have the flexibility to have my own schedule and still be able to make money and be good. And so, of course, I have business ideas and everything, and I want stuff to flourish. And maybe this is why I got laid off in the first place, so I can really take the time to get there. But in a situation like this, with you not having a steady job to pay the bills while you figure out how to get to that ultimate boss mode, you really got to trust God. You really have to trust God and trust the process. And so really every day I'm in that word, I'm in that Bible, I'm praying like every single day. I make sure I dedicate a large amount of time to reading and praying off of the word. And so yeah, Ratchet Fallon loves the Lord. I really do. But yeah, so run your own race. And there again, let's just say it one more time. Happiness is found when you stop comparing yourself to other people. What's poppin' this week, my good people? So, got to start off with some NFL suspension talk. And my girl, they really came for my girl, Jemele Hill. She's been suspended for 2 weeks. And, like even after she got suspended, Trump still had more to say on the matter. And it just makes me sick. Like, go sit behind your desk and keep signing some executive orders or something. Take care of the daycare, the adult daycare you got going on at the White House. Run that and let regular people go to work and have a peace of mind. But I'm definitely not for the suspension. And I just feel like they keep showing us who they are. Just leave, like, I said this, BET, even though it's white owned, but it's supposed to be something for us. TV One, whoever else is out there, Revolt TV. Like, let's just flip it and like let's get us a sports network. Let's get that popping. We watch sports. We don't have to go to ESPN to watch these sports shows that do the commentating or the after commentating on what's going on in sports world. Like, let's really create an avenue for us. And, it has to be crucial if my favorite rapper, J. Cole, he comes out of the woodwork again and he simply tweets, protect Jemele Hill. And 3 words, but enough. And yeah, and so what else happened with all the shenanigans? Diddy came out a few days ago and said he wants to buy the NFL. He said he always had a dream on buying a team, but he wants to buy the whole NFL. And it's just like, bruh, I know they're not going to sell you the NFL, but let's do our own league. Like, screw it. Let's do it. I think what is the stat? I think we make up 70% of the NFL. Like, football is football. As long as you make these players happy, as long as the competition is still good, let's create our own stuff and let's support. And that's the thing about it. Like, if we do these things, we have to make sure we're first in line to support our own, and then let everyone else come to us, because there again, they love our culture so much. They just don't like our skin so much, it seems. They will follow. Or if they don't follow, it will definitely open up the door to have a conversation. And this is what we've been trying to do, is just have conversations about all these things that we're fighting about in 2017. So that's the NFL shenanigans for this week. A lot of boys and girls were talking about the BET Hip Hop Awards, and they were really just fixated on Eminem. And Eminem was a part of a cypher, and he really just let the world have it and let it be known how he feels about Donald Trump. And there again, it's so funny. Like I said, there's always a tweet, a video, or something. And so the way that Eminem dissed Trump, it was just amazing. And then someone dug up an old video of Donald Trump talking about Eminem, calling him such a good guy and stuff, and saying all these nice things about Eminem. And then we have this wonderful, it was just so poetic and juicy and just filled with lines of truth. And it felt like we were being set free by his words. And that is an example of someone that's on the other side, that's a part of the majority, using their voice and being part of the majority to bring awareness to what's going on with the minorities. And I just want to say, you can be mad at that if you're a minority. And so it shocked me to see that some black people were mad that Eminem said the things he said, because it wasn't one of us that said it. Oh, we've been screaming this for the longest. And we're not even talking about Donald Trump. We scream these things. They don't listen to us. And sometimes it takes one of theirs to get more people to listen, you know? And this is like something we deal with life. Like, you might have a family member that you can't get through to them, but someone else can. They're saying the same thing, but only they can get through to them, you know? And so, there again, this is where I get disappointed in my brothers and sisters. And it's just like, well, where was the lie? Like, I think the perfect way to explain this is, Eminem, he loves our culture, right? But he is not a minority, right? So, in order for him to properly engage in our culture, he has to be able to identify to a certain degree through the things we go through. Too many people in his circle are minorities for him to be blind, or for him to operate with these people on a day-to-day basis and not feel any type of way about what their people are going through. So for any of the black people that felt any type of way about Eminem saying the things that he said, like, I think you just need to settle back and really think about it. It's dumb for you to feel like that. It's okay, you know, like. So if he never would have said anything, would you still be a fan of Eminem based off of his just rapping, but not rapping about what goes on in our community, since he is making money off of our culture? Not off of our culture per se, but by being a rapper, he's a part of our culture, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, so you shouldn't feel any type of way. So, more sad news that I have to talk about, and this really made me feel some type of way. Being Mary Jane is over. In 2018, it's a wrap, boys and girls. They're going to do, I think they said, a 2-hour movie to wrap it up, and so far only Gabrielle Union is definitely signed up to do the finale. Like, everyone just needs to go ahead and just sign up and do it. Like, let's just go ahead and make this the best movie for all the being Mary Jane real fans, and give us something good. I really love that show. It's a show that I watch every week, that I remember to watch, and that makes me sad. It makes me really sad. Another show that I used to like when it first came out was Survivor's Remorse. I fell off the past 2 seasons or seasons and a half, and on this Sunday that show is done too. Series finale, people, not season finale, series finale. And I don't know, I just felt like the storyline just suffered, and I don't know, they just never really came back. So it makes me sad that another good black show is gone and done. We gotta talk about Tyrese. I know everybody's been talking about Tyrese. Hopefully I don't stay here long, but we gonna see. So I think Tyrese just needs a personal break from social media. I think like there's more going on than him just being mad at The Rock for getting his own movie. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I think, of course, we know he's going through something on the family side in regards to his daughter. His baby mama put a restraining order on him for that. And then ironically, having a conversation with my best friend, we were talking about Tyrese's mother, and I was like, so where is she? Because we know that they didn't have a good relationship. He made that very clear, like in the early part of his career. So on the positive side, before I go back to the other side, he just bought his mama a house to celebrate 11 years of sobriety. And so that's really dope that she's been 11 years strong. And it's good to see that he bought her a house. And people are just messy as hell. People were saying negative things about the house and the way that the house looked. From a person that stays in an apartment, that was a really, really nice house. That house looks better than my mama's house. So people are just haters on every level. But let's turn the corner and go back to the other side. I just think that Tyrese just needs to take a breath. Like, literally, take a breath, Tyrese. And it hurts me to see, like, Tyrese just being so active on social media in the wrong way. You just shouldn't carry yourself like this. If you are a regular person, I'm saying that in quotes. Like, I say regular because he's famous. He's a singer. He's an actor. Blah, 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 blah. But he's still human. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's even more reason for you to stay low key, because you don't want all of us in your business. And I just feel like it's his social media feed is starting to look like my Facebook feed with people I really know. You know what I mean? Like, Facebook is where people like really let their feelings out, and typically for the most part it's people you really fucking know. And so I thought about this for a second, and I kind of placed myself in this scenario, because I don't be on that level, of course, but when I'm dealing with a lot of stuff mentally, emotionally, if I'm going through something, I think I've probably said this once or twice, like, that's when you'll see me really active on social media and in my feelings about something. That's where you'll get all the sad posts, just outright, oh, I'm going through this, blah, 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 all that stuff. Like, even a couple of rants, you know? And it's just like, sometimes we need to take a breath, like Auntie Ayana always says, and stop using social media for our diaries and for our fights. Like, if you are having an issue with someone, call that person, text that person. If they're not responding, give them time. People don't have to do stuff when you are ready. Give people time to live their life, to receive what you've said, receive what you have texted, and let them get back to you. Don't get on social media calling people out because they're not calling you or whatever. That's pretty tacky. And that's all I'm going to say. On the happy end, I want to glow up my girl SZA. She has a platinum single for Love Galore, and her album is now certified gold. So I'm so happy. It's such a dope album. The album is Control. She's on tour. She is booked. So yeah, shout out to SZA. Wonderful, wonderful artist. The last thing I want to talk about in What's Poppin' is in November, there's going to be a new 50 Shades novel that's going to come out. And I'm so excited about that because I've read the books and watched the movies. And so I'm excited. And so that made me happy to see that another novel is coming out. Yes. So, in sports, I need to talk about Coach Kevin McHale and James Harden. And so, the headline came out over the past weekend, I believe, that, let's see. Sorry, I'm reading something on my phone, trying to make a note about something and thinking at the same time and talking. He said that James Harden wasn't a leader. And he gave, supporting evidence as to why he thought that James Harden was not a leader. And, he said basically the talent is there, which no one can deny that James Harden is talented. And he said that James is not the kind of guy who's going to say, yo, man, you got a problem. And he gave this reference into when James Harden was playing with Dwight Howard. And basically, clearly there was stuff going on. People in Houston were, stuff was going on. We knew that through the grapevine, that stuff was going on in the locker room. And basically, Coach McHale was saying that was, clear evidence that he couldn't step up to the mic to Dwight Howard and get him in line to be happy and be a team player, basically, right? And even Dwight Howard said that he doesn't like confrontation either. So it was never like any real beef between him and James Harden. It was just like they were two passive individuals, and it was just like, I can only let me just stop. I was going to say something really crazy, but going back to even like last season in the playoffs, or this past season, where James Harden just checked out that game, that was probably a clear indication that he was fed up and he didn't feel like being the leader. And so he was like, y'all can have this team. That was his moment. That was a clear moment where he checked out. And a leader, they don't check out. You keep going. We could have advanced during that playoff run. We really could have. I don't care what y'all say about Golden State. We could have gone further, and San Antonio shouldn't have been the team to have taken us out. And that's all I got to say about that. And he also went on to say that Chris Paul will do a good job to alleviate some of that pressure off of James Harden. So basically, he can just focus on playing. And I agree with that because, okay, Chris Paul, he's the president of the NBA Players Association. He's a stand-up guy. He's a good basketball player. So, of course, people will listen to him. If I was James Harden, I wouldn't have taken that as a shot. I wouldn't even have worried about it. But he did, and he responded back, and he called him a clown. He said, honestly, I did anything and everything he asked me to do. Honestly, he never taught me anything. Like, that just sounded so passive and just so, just stand in your shit. Like, you checked out last season. You could have done better a couple of seasons as far as being the true leader of the team. And I love James Harden. I love him, love him, love him. And this is just me being real. Like, we have to be real with ourselves and hold ourselves accountable for things. Like, definitely love James Harden. So, I'm sure he'll never listen to this podcast, but, you never know. But yeah, own your shit and just be better. So how are we feeling about the NBA possibly moving to a 16 seed format, playoff format? For me, it's good, because I say that because I like the mock-up they did. They had Golden State at number 1. They had the Houston Rockets at number 2. They had, I think, Cleveland at number 6. And so, whoever made up that mock-up, they have faith in us. They have real good faith, and I appreciate it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, like, if they ever, like, get it to balance out as far as, like, the East being as good as the West, then the 16 seed format won't work. I think it just needs to be a better process to make sure competition is not, you don't want it to say even or level, because that's not competition, but it needs to be a better way to put these teams together. We need to get away from the super team format where you have 4 good teams at the top. Let's be real, Fallon. Stop. We have 2 super teams at the top and then 2 regular good teams after that. And I don't think that's fair. I really don't think that's fair. Michael Jordan did something really, really good for the people of Charlotte. He's donating $7 million to build medical clinics in underserved communities in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it's good that he's giving back. So yeah, $7 million is not something to sneeze at. So that's really dope of him. I've never really been like a big like Michael Jordan fan as far as like personality, but of course he's a great basketball player. So it's really dope to see him do that. So what, now we're at like 4 days out, I think, until the NBA season officially starts. And that makes me so happy. I put together one of my fantasy basketball teams for Tuesday. I'm getting to the money. I don't know about y'all. I'm not telling y'all my team, but I think this team is legit. And my Rockets, they play Golden State on Tuesday for the first official game of the season. We start the season out on the road. Our first official home game is not until Saturday, October the 20th, against the Dallas Mavs. What's up? Pull up. Like, that's going to be another W for us. I'm definitely really interested in seeing us play against Golden State with Chris Paul and other new additions we have to the team, to see what we really gonna look like. Because we've been out here balling in the preseason. We 4-0 in the preseason. I don't care if y'all say that preseason don't count. It counts to me as far as like seeing how your team is going to gel together, especially if they're playing all the starters, to see what's going to match up and what's going to be right. And it looking like it's going to be right. We out here shooting 22 threes per game. Well, not per game. We did that one game. But you see how I talk when I get super excited about my Rockets? I really got to check myself, right? Because it's really extra. But you know what? Extraness is fine. Guys, just love me for that. Love me. people. I told you that this segment was going to be heavily laced with talks of the Confirmation album from Dame D.O.L.L.A, but I also want to highlight a couple of songs from a young lady that I've been talking about since I started doing my practice episodes of my podcast like last year. And and that lady that I'm talking about is Sabrina Claudio, and she has such a beautiful voice, y'all. And she released her album called About Time, and that's exactly how I felt when the album came out, because I just been waiting. And so I'm gonna play a couple of songs from that album. The first one I'm going to play is Unravel Me, and again I'll put links to her songs on YouTube in the podcast notes, so you'll have that. But this one's called Unravel Me from About Time.
Something in the sun or the air, it's making me wanna run away from here. I know that you want me to stay with you, but no.
Unravel Me by Sabrina Claudio. I want to play another song off of her album, About Time. This song is called Frozen.
If we could live in this moment and just hold it, keep my head on your chest.
I wish I could play the whole song of this one. That's my favorite song, called Frozen, from Sabrina Claudio, from her album About Time. Like, her music is really like that cuffing music type of vibe, and she has like this light breathy voice, and it's just amazing. So let's jump into this album called Confirmed from Dame D.O.L.L.A. A few minutes ago I said Confirmation. You know, black people, we gonna mess stuff up and just roll with it, but I just want to say I apologize. The album is called Confirmed. And so basically he posted about the album like a week ago before it came out, and he let the world know, number one, why the album is called Confirmed. And I'm taking this from his IG page that he posted, and he said it's defined as fixed in habit and unlikely to change. He goes on to say, there's always been something said about me spending time in the studio, even though I've always shown up and produced for my team every night. I've never had issues with stardom. I'm also not new to music. I've created music while playing at every level of basketball. Like, he's giving y'all facts, so there's no reason for y'all to come for him, basically, right? And he says that this is no longer an experiment. This is my second album. Okay. And so he goes on and he gives an explanation for the album cover, which is really dope. Find it online so you can see the picture, and you can just see basically what I'm getting ready to pick apart. And he said that basically this cover is paying homage to his favorite rap artist. And so he said he picked The Crown, and this is to pay homage to Biggie. The Praying Hands is for Tupac. The Gold Rope and Rolex is for Nas. And his chest tattoo is just for the art, culture, and community in Oakland. And so I thought, like, you never really have artists like just truly break all of their stuff down like that. He didn't want any confusion. Like, he told you why he named the album confirmed, and he told you the reasoning behind his cover art. And I just think he's just a very dope artist. He's a very dope person, and he's a very, very talented basketball player. And there again, like, it just shows you that people have so many different levels that you can't really just keep a person in one single box. Like, he's more than a basketball player. He's an artist. And the artist side is definitely seen through this album. I've heard songs from him in the past, and like I said at the top of the show, like, I didn't want to like him as a rapper because I felt some type of way about him being in my feelings because of his talent as a basketball player. But there again, there's something about me, like, I never deny talent. And from the very first song that I heard from him, I was in love with the rapper Dame D.O.L.L.A. Not like, you know what I mean when I say that, right? Don't take it too deep. And I thought he was really, like, I think when I first heard him, I compared him to a J. Cole type based on his subject matter. But of course, the beats that he raps over is not like J. Cole. But that was the first thought that I got in my head when I heard some of his music a couple years ago. And it was just, I don't know, like, to just see him be a rapper is shocking to me. Because, you have some of these people that try to cross over and do other things, whether it's crossing over to be a rapper. Shout out to Allen Iverson, my favorite basketball player. When he crossed over, and as a fan, like, I liked his stuff. And then you also have people that try to cross over and be an actor, actress, whatever. And it doesn't always, transcend as well as they play basketball. And I was just pleasantly surprised by his talent. And I don't think there's any really, like, anything I've heard from him that I truly don't like that to make me say he's not a good rapper. The album, it starts off with a great intro song that I think it's a great way to start the album. And this is No Punches is the name of the song. And it's really giving you, like, life bars. And I want to read a few of the lines from the song. It starts off, often I ask myself why the Lord picked me. I mean, my city and my family so rich in history. Greatness in my DNA. It's time for y'all epiphany. Back me to the crowd, though. I gotta lead the symphony. What? Like, we 5 lines in. And for me, I'm speaking only for myself. Like, I am big on being able to, like, close my eyes and, like, listen to the words, like, go into my brain and, like, just really start to paint the picture. And this just sets up the song, like, for greatness. Like, he got that crown on and he's rapping greatness to me in this song. And so overall, like, before I go through a few of the songs, I like his rap voice. And when I say his rap voice, I'm a type of person, I'm always, like, looking for an artist to feel like that track was already made with their voice on it, if that makes sense. Because, yeah, I'm always known for saying, like, it feels like that song already had his voice on it. And that's how I feel when I say I like his rap voice. It just flows on these songs like butter. And it just sounds like these songs were made for him and he's in the pocket. And that's another thing, like, some rappers, sometimes they can struggle with being in the pocket, and he's right in the pocket. And I'm pretty sure, like, some of you know what I mean when I say in the pocket. And he's good at storytelling. And I don't know, like, that's, like, my number one criteria for, like, calling a rapper, like, my fave. Painting pictures, good storytelling, know how to live in the pocket, you know how to do different, and you know how to to create an album that gives you life from top to bottom. And Damian Lillard, he did this with Confirmed. And so, let's see. Some of the songs I wanted to point out. Run It Up, the song he has with Lil Wayne. I'm sorry, I am a Lil Wayne fan, but Wayne's verse is forgettable. Him on the hook, good. Okay, that's fine. But I feel like there again, like, bravo to Dame. He didn't let someone like Wayne come on his song and out rap him. Because that's another thing that I always say. You never let it be your album or your song and you let someone come on your shit and beat you. Everyone, probably has the number one song where this was done with a great, and I'm talking about Jay-Z and Eminem, Renegade. Jay-Z's verse is forgettable. All we remember is Eminem on Renegade. That's it. And so he did a good job with that. My least favorite song on the album is Shooter. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't even be on the album, in my opinion. So, Shooter is my least favorite. Marshawn Lynch is another favorite. It's like my number 2. My number 1 is The Letdown, and I'm going to talk about that song later. But I like the Marshawn Lynch song because I like the hook. And I like what he's spitting. There again, like, this whole album, everything that I can say is just, he's spitting, okay? Like, he is spitting for you boys and girls. Like, he wants you to know with this album, hey, you can go ahead and confirm it. This album is good. I can compete with these other rappers. I'm not just a basketball player. So, one of the songs that I want to play, because it's kind of like, it's one of those songs that it'll end up being like stuck in your head, even though you probably really don't like it like that. And the song is called Trap Party. In parentheses is Funeral. And just listen to this song and you'll understand why this song is going to get stuck in your head. This is Trap Party from Dame D.O.L.L.A from the album Confirmed. Hey. Hey.
I tell your funeral to a trap party. I don't know no better. Tell your funeral to a trap party. These Marshalls turn a funeral to a trap party. The hell tell you their funeral to a trap party. I know you mad. I get that bad.
Hey.
I get that bad.
Now you see why I'm laughing? Did you hear the hooks of this song? I'll turn a funeral into a trap party. The song actually goes off, but it's like one of those songs, and ironically it's called Trap Party. It's one of those like trap beat type of songs where the beat goes off and you like, hey, and it's just one of those songs you just jig to. But he's actually giving you some nice bars on this song. So listen to that song. Listen to the whole album. But yeah, that song is silly as hell to me. Another song I want to point out, it's called One and Only. And y'all don't come for me, but I'm keeping it 100% real, because if you listen to this, you're going to be like, Fallon, you right. It sounds like the B-side to the Young Gunna song, No Better Love. Go listen to No Better Love first. Then go listen to One and Only and tell me if I'm lying. I don't think y'all gonna disagree with me on that. But as soon as I heard the song, I was like, wait a minute. Did I get over to a different album? Is this on Young Gunna's? Like, yeah. The last song that I want to talk about on the album. The last song I want to play on the album. From the album is The Letdown with my boy Nick Grant and BJ the Chicago Kid. Before I play the song, I feel like a lot of people sleep on Nick Grant. Please go look up Nick Grant. I should play some Nick Grant on the show, and I might have to do that one episode. But yeah, of course, I posted this on my Instagram a couple days ago, and I said that BJ, the Chicago kid, sound like he was born on this track. Like, there again, his voice fits on this track like butter. And I'm going to play a little bit from The Letdown.
Just wondering, who gon' be there when I'm down? Who gon' be there when I'm gone? When it's bad, no one around. You gotta fix it on your own. You gotta fix it inside. You gotta fix it in your soul. You can't fix it on the ground.
Really, really dope song. Again, the song is called The Letdown with Nick Grant and BJ, the Chicago Kid. He ends the album with a really short song called Wonderland. There again, another great song, a good way to end the album and wrap up basically what the album is saying. And so, yeah, 1 to 10. I would give Confirmed a strong 9. And I feel like this album definitely should be in a lot of conversations. I didn't hear a lot of people talking about this album on shows and podcasts that I listen to. And I just don't want y'all to miss the boat and sleep on this album, because there again, it is something you can listen to from top to bottom and just really listen to the words, and let me know your favorite songs from the album. Let me know your thoughts about the album, and maybe I'll share them on the next show so we can keep a dialogue going on this album. We must empower ourselves. We must empower ourselves with knowledge. We can't be afraid of knowledge. Knowledge is free. Knowledge will always be here. We have to know where we came from so we can stand firmly in where we are going and have the boldest confidence. Dropping jewels. I really wanted to take this segment to glow up a young queen here in the Houston area, and I'm talking about 17-year-old India Landry. She had the guts to exercise her right not to stand for the pledge and national anthem. She attends Winfern High School, and that's in the Cypher ISD district. And she sat collectively for over 200 times for when the pledge and the anthem was played. And so the school initially expelled her. Her parents said, you know what? She's coming back to school, but you can catch this lawsuit though. How about that? And sad to say, we have to start being overly smart and not be afraid to step up so they can hear us. And we get in this mindset to where we're so afraid to go against the grain. Even like in a situation like that, a young lady like having the guts to just go out there and just do it. Like for me, like I could see myself in this day and age, if I was back in high school, because I'm so about our people and like on that fight the power stuff, that I would want to sit for the pledge and the anthem, but I probably would not have the guts, especially at that age, to do that. And so I just really hope that this lawsuit would just make people aware that we're not afraid to live in our truth. We're not afraid to use the law to work with us, since people use it all the time to work in their favor. And we have to just stop being afraid, because how come all these other people can stand up for what they believe? How come other people can stand up and say that they don't want let me get the quote, because I don't want to mess it up, what these white terrorists said. What I said at the top of the show. Oh, you will not replace us. Russia is our friend. Like, if they can do stuff like that, why can't this young lady just peacefully sit and, for her reasons, protest? You know? Like, if we're going to let hateful people protest, we got to let people protest peacefully. And we keep saying it over and over again. The protests are not about disrespecting the flag, the anthem, the troops, the country. Because clearly we want to live here. We just want to be more comfortable living here. And I just don't see why that's so hard to understand. So I just wanted to make sure I highlighted this young lady. And I just want to say, Miss India Landry, keep your head up. Be strong. People are praying for you. And you are very, very brave to do what you did. And a lot of people recognize that. So glow up, young queen. With that, this is the end of episode 31 of Oh You Thought podcast. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. And email me, give me feedback, DM me, give me feedback, and let me know. There again, I want to get it ramped up to where my listeners start emailing me. So you can just email me funny stories you want me to read. You want me to give you advice. You want me to pray for you, like whatever. Like, let's get the community popping, people. I know it's a lot of you out there that listen, a lot of you that are subscribing to the show, not asking for money. Let's just have a nice little community going so we can just have fun with each other, right? And that's another reason why I share some of my personal journeys and stories and love life journeys and stuff, because I want y'all to feel comfortable with me. I want y'all to know that I make mistakes. I want you to know that I'm silly and I'm about that life also. Just playing. But yeah, I want y'all to really feel like y'all are getting to know me every single episode. And there again, like, I'm a shy person, so I'm really out here telling my business. But yeah, like, I want us to be a nice little community. But it's Friday. The episode will be up in a couple of hours once I get done doing this edit work. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Pray for other people, not just yourselves and your family. Pray for everybody. Have fun. Turn up. And I will holla at y'all. Oh, wait. Follow me on social media. Follow me on Twitter, Pretty and Smart 81. Pretty, the letter N, Smart 81. Follow me on Instagram. It's wide open. It's no longer private. Oh, you thought Fallon. You spell my name Fallon. Go to my website, OhYouThoughtFallon.com. Email me at OhYouThoughtFallon@gmail.com. All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Deuces. Until next time, remember to glow up, bless up, stay prayed up, and hold it down.
Hold it down. Hold it down. We gon' hold it down. We gon' hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down. We gon' hold it down. South gon' hold it down.